LA Clippers 35-16, number 3 in the Western Conference at this point. Offensive rating, they're third in the league. Defensive rating is 12, more middle of the pack. 27-6 since December 1st. And here's some notes on them. They're 12-3 in
27-7 now, I think.
Okay. And they're 12-3 in games that were within 5 points in the last 5 minutes. The Clippers have scored 117 points on 82 clutch possessions. That's all a bunch of fodder. And another thing that stood out to me was James Harden is the only Clipper to have played in all 15 of those close games, and he's had 18 fewer clutch shots than Kawhi Leonard. One of those three clutch losses was in Minnesota about a month ago. The Clips are 2-4 within the top 4 in the West. So they're 2-4 against the top 4 in the West, 2-1 at home, 0-3 on the road. So at home, they're really good against these top Western Conference teams. James Harden not shooting that much in crunch time. Is this what you're looking forward to with the Clippers? Is you getting what you wanted, or?
I think a couple of weeks ago, I tweeted that I take my L on the James Harden trade. Even if we choke in the playoffs, I think we wouldn't be flirting with the 1 seed without him. And flirting with the 1 seed, that is major. Now, the thing is, the main thing I was wrong about was that Westbrook would be willing to go to the bench, because that for some starting, I don't like it. I never liked it, and it's not as much of a disaster as actually, no, I'm sorry. It's even more of a disaster than I thought it would be, but they've recently shown flashes that they can play together with a spacer as that 5th guy. But Harden's been really good. He's been a little suspect against the best teams with really good defenses, though, I will say. But which scares me, because that was my big concern with Harden always when we got him. He's been doing well in his role. Kawhi's been amazing. I'm a little worried about this injury he has right now going into this All-Star break. I hope it's not serious. Paul's been good, but he still has his Paul George moments where he plays like an absolute bot.
3 for 14 the other night.
Right. So we've been great. We're in the race for the 1 seed, but my concerns in the postseason for certain players still exist. But yeah, I'll take my L. Harden, definitely he's doing what we need him to do. We're flirting with the 1 seed. I don't think we'd be here without him.
Dom, I got a question. I just want to ask you real quick.
Still don't like him like that, though.
I know you don't. I want to ask you a question before we give it to OG. But read a report, sent Bones Highland home, sent PJ Tucker home. I don't really want you to comment on why they were sent home before the All-Star break, but I do want to understand, and maybe giving us some insight. What is the deal with Bones Highland? I'm very high on Bones Highland. I think he's a really good player. He wasn't gonna find time. Mike Malone wasn't gonna find time for him over there in Denver. So they did the brother a solid and got him into a Clipper uniform. I'm always one of the guys that, like, fit matters for these young guys, especially the young scoring guys, like not the role player type guys, the guys that like to put the ball in the hoop. I always feel like fit matters. So maybe he wasn't going to grow up in Denver, but maybe he gets a chance to grow up as a Clipper. Y'all are ready made, though. Y'all are in win now mode, and this dude is a kid. I've also heard some things about his attitude not being the greatest. I want you to give some insight. What is the deal with Bones Highland? Why doesn't Ty Lue get him on the floor more?
Well, they don't get him on the floor more because of defensive purposes and having too many guards.
Okay.
Because when we got Harden, as I said, that kind of spelled the end for him. And I was invested in his development, which is part of why I was Harden.
I was too.
But, the people that always say, do you want to see Bones Highland develop or do you want to win a championship? They'll say that. But I'm not I'm not super confident on Harden getting us to the championship, but he definitely gets us closer. I feel bad for the guy. I think what happened was he came to the Clippers. He was probably they were like, hey, you can be the backup point guard. You'll get minutes here. He was. We got James Harden. They tried it in the beginning to play them all together, and it didn't work out. Took him out of the rotation. At first, he looked like the biggest cheerleader on the bench. And I think now it's settling in for him. Like, Westbrook and Harden aren't getting hurt. I'm not getting minutes. And the fact that he hasn't been playing in garbage time either recently tells me that things are starting to sour a little bit. And I'm surprised, honestly, that we didn't trade him for try to get, that backup 4. We have no power forwards outside of PJ Tucker, Kobe Brown. These guys aren't rotation players on championship teams right now. And PJ Tucker's been a malcontent. He thought he was going to get traded. Now he's being even more emotional. So he didn't want to be Udonis Haslem. He thinks he can still contribute on a championship level team rotation wise, which he cannot. Otherwise, he'd be used here. So that's the thing with Bones, man. I feel really bad for him, Fleet, point blank. I feel bad for him because I think he was the backup point guard, and now he's not. And now he's like, fuck, I'm not going to play.
My man said, the Clippers are in win now mode. They ain't got time for hissy fits from that kid. And I was like, shit, that makes a lot of sense. Because, like you just said, do you want to develop this kid or do you want to win a championship? OG, what you had?
Just real quick, just to respond real quick, what you just said, that was a great question. Dom answered it perfectly. Bones can't play defense, and I don't think he can play point guard. To me, that's
I disagree with that.
Hey, I mean, it's okay. We can respectfully disagree. I don't think, just because he has a handle and a certain skill set. For me, I thought he would be able to be maybe following to Lou Will and Jamal Crawford's footsteps.
That's what he can do.
I mean,
That's
yeah, but
he can pass better than you guys think. Watch when you guys get him on whatever team he gets to next and he gets to show it, he can pass, bro. I swear.
I'm only laughing because Dime will sing praises of any Clipper. I need you to talk to me about Kofi. I need you to talk to me about Kofi. And
he's been unbelievable.
I knew it.
He's been unbelievable lately, man.
I knew he was going to.
Have you guys seen what Amir's been doing? He's shooting 50-40.
He's been playing well.
And guarding.
Boy, everybody's unbelievable except one guy.
Right.
Except Harden.
That's right.
I'll be real quick. I expected this from the Clippers as long as they're healthy. To me, that's their only problem, health. If the Clippers are healthy, I've said it in the beginning of the season, I was paused hard on Kawhi, is because, bruh, we talk about you as if you're one of the greatest we've ever seen. I need you on the court. So if the Clippers is healthy, to me, they're the favorites. But if they're not healthy, then that's what the injury bug bites them all the time at the wrong time. So as long as they can stay healthy, I'm not surprised with what they're doing. I knew James Harden would work only because it gives Paul George and Kawhi a rest. They don't have to have the ball in their hands. And those guys is they under the radar. So I think James Harden coming there gives them a break, which they both need.
It has.
Right. So as long as y'all healthy, Dom, me personally, I don't see nobody beating y'all in the West. Now in the East, I don't know, but in the West, if y'all are fully healthy, listen, man, with Kawhi, Paul George, James Harden distributed, and Kawhi playing at the level we know he can play at, if they're fully healthy. But for me, that's what it all boils down to for the Clippers, health.
You think Kawhi's been great this year, AllBall?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, just real quick, I think towards the end of the season, he's probably going to be greater. Listen, he just got to be healthy. Like you said, he always have some knickknacks, so it'd be tough for him. So, I got to dial back a little bit. But once again, when that guy is fully healthy, he's probably the best player in the league.
Wow. High praise.
That's big stuff. That's big stuff coming from AllBall, y'all.